or how long would it realistically take to get fluent in Spanish? Um, to me, that depends on a few factors. The biggest ones being obviously the method that you use. So someone who does Duolingo versus someone who learns through content and understanding logic behind Spanish. Even if all other variables are the same, the discrepancy between these two is going to be massive. So firstly, the method they use. Also past experience. So someone who obviously speaks only one language and then learns Spanish as their second language will have a harder time than someone who speaks two languages and then learns Spanish as their third or fourth. So for me, I learned Spanish as my fourth language. And so, of course, I'm going to have some, say, logical advantages because of past experience. And then also, I'll just say like consistency. And then after that, I think it's about the thing that matters after that is just consistency and just dedication or obsession, you could say. So realistically, here's what I'll say, and this might be like shocking or not shocking, but you might think that this contradicts my sort of brand or my message, but I don't think 3 to 6 months is realistic for most people, because most people, a lot of people have jobs, a lot of people have rent to pay, a lot of people have relationships, and me as a 13-year-old, I didn't really have most of those things, and I had a lot of free time because I'd mainly focused during the summer too. And so I wouldn't say like me getting fluent in a few months doesn't necessarily mean that you can. It just means that it's possible. But possible for you is a different story. And so how long could you do it? It depends on you, right? But in terms of hours spent studying, from what I've seen from someone who spoke one language and now speaks two, who a client, he got fluent in about 300-400 hours of time spent studying. And that includes like all the time wasted, okay, where he wasted a lot of time. And so, to me, that's realistic if you use the correct method. If you do basically the average, the normal sort of way of learning, the research shows 600 to 750 hours of time spent studying. And then if you do like something really like if you do like 10 minutes a day of Duolingo, expect it to take you a few years. That's what I'll say. From what I've seen, there's a guy I know who has a 1,000-day Duolingo streak, like 3 years. And he is like, okay, he's conversational, I would say. Yeah, I would say he's conversational. So 3 years if you're doing, say, Duolingo for a few minutes a day. 1 month if you're doing, say, 8 hours a day with the correct method, consistently, no lifing Spanish. But more realistically for most people, about a year would probably be my guess. If you do like, obviously everyone's going to waste a bit of time doing the research. And then if you do, say, the correct or the highest ever method, which I would say would be, understanding the logic of Spanish grammar and also using content in order to learn vocabulary, and then, doing that over and over and over again. That's basically like my method summarized. If you do that, 6 to 12 months through, if you do a few, 20 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day, I think that's pretty realistic. What's that? 30 minutes a day. What's that? 200 minutes a week. Yeah. If you did 30 minutes to an hour a day of Spanish, you could get fluent in about 6 to 12 months. Granted that you do the correct methods or the high leverage methods. So that's what I would say.